lot of questions about inflation, wage growth, shortages, and what you're seeing overall. First of all, how would you describe this jobs market? Are a lot of people resigning? Are we living through the Great Resignation?
Well, there's a jobs boom going on at the moment, Francine, and it started a year ago, and it's still continuing. I keep asking myself, are we peaking, or has it peaked? But it's still continuing, and we're seeing, 13% month-on-month growth for jobs. So there are masses of new jobs coming onto the labour market, but there are real shortages of people. And we're seeing that affecting a lot of aspects of the economy now. We've just heard about the situation in Manchester Airport, where there's been huge queues because people can't get through security, and lots of businesses are struggling to hire. What are they doing? They're putting wages up.
Yeah, so this is real. You can see in negotiations, is it like a 5–10% increase? And of course, that will be inflationary overall.
Well, we've seen quite a lot of spot price increases, I suppose, if you call it. I wouldn't say it's general, but we're seeing a lot of companies often paying premiums of 20, 30, 40% to attract people. So where you've got a company that's eager to find people, they have to pay a premium to get people to move. And that's where we're seeing the increases. So particularly in areas where skills are scarce and where there's great demand. Yeah. So that's happening. But then there are other parts of the economy where it's really lagging. So a lot of people are not getting pay increases, and they are being squeezed by inflation, and they're really hurting.
So where are you seeing the most staff shortages? And I don't know whether it's Brexit related or it's just people having left the workforce after the pandemic. Is there a sector that feels particularly hot right now?
Well, the whole economy is really hot, but the hottest areas are technology and also education. And we're getting calls for teachers because a lot of teachers are off with the virus still, and we're struggling to fill all those requests. So the education sector's really pushed, but technology is and continues to be the hardest to source.
Are you expecting unemployment to pick up later this year when you have a cost of living squeeze because of Ukraine?
Well, at the moment, unemployment's at pre-pandemic, lows.
Yeah, which is amazing.
So, yeah, quite. But there are two sides to this story, because also inactivity in the workforce has increased. So there's 400,000 more people economically inactive, and there are 8.8 million people in the UK economically inactive. That's a huge number. And I think that the task now is to encourage or help some of those people back into work, because that will ease the pressure on all these organisations that are struggling to recruit.
So, I mean, you mentioned Manchester Airport. How are you struggling, to fill some of the vacancies, for example, in some of these airports? If people are off with COVID, what's the right way of looking at this?
Well, we don't specifically work with Manchester Airport, but I can feel the pain of that situation, because it takes a long time to train people. So if lots of people are suddenly unavailable for work, and you have to train people to run these systems safely and securely, you're going to be caught in a hard place, and that's likely to last for some time. But that's happening in a lot of different businesses at the moment, and it's limiting growth, and I think we'll start to feel that later in the year.
So what's the right way, again, to I guess, tide over these shortages?
What, if you're an employer? If
you're an employer, or if they come to you for services?
Well, I think if you're an employer, you want to really look after your existing staff, so you should make sure they're fairly paid. And if you're seeking to attract people, you do need to pay a premium, because that will get people to move jobs. Because a lot of people who are being squeezed, who are finding the cost of living crisis is hurting them, will be looking to earn more money. And an obvious way of doing that is go and find another job.
Yeah, what about someone who, wants to do better? So maybe in a lower paid job where inflation isn't being able to catch up with the cost of living. What's the right business to go into right now?
Well, there are lots of, we're carrying record vacancies on our website. So over 300,000 live jobs. So go and have a look would be the first thing. So there are a lot of opportunities out there. So if you're looking for a job, this is a great time, best time in 50 years to be looking for a job, because there are so many and the pay is going up. Whether it will keep up with inflation for everyone, well, that's an open question.